This week, Handyman Corner, I'd like to show you that a toilet is an asset. You know, there was a time when we'd have an old baby like this and we just would throw it in the middle of the lake. But now it's getting to the point we got so many fixtures and appliances and whatnot out there that it's just you're risking your prop every time you do a power turn around the canoe club. So it's a lot better if we come up with some other use for these things, and I've done just that. Now the first step on this, after the hernia, what you want to do is, to get it apart, is to loosen the bolts a bit on her. You got to expect a certain amount of breakage on these, but it doesn't really matter because all we're going to use is the tank on the back. So as you can see, I've got the back of the tank separated here, and I've attached these car seat belts. I was only sitting on them anyway, and I've used a handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. So now what we have is your portable ceramic beverage cooler. What you do is you put some ice in there, throw in some of your favorite beverages, pop the lid on here. And on a day when you know you're going with this thing, you might want to have a couple of steroids for breakfast. Roll the unit up onto your shoulder, and you're on your way. Now, a lot of guys say you should use beer for this because it ends up in the toilet anyway. You might as well start there. And you know, when the ice melts with this baby, and you want to get rid of the excess water, no problem. So until next time, remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. We'll be right back with the rest of the treasure hunt story.
Be still, my trembling heart.
That can be arranged. This week in the Handyman Corner, we're doing another installment of our series on how to build fine furniture. You know, there is something darn wonderful about being able to take some strips of unblemished hardwood and make yourself a beautiful table, or even take some wrought iron and weld it into some lawn furniture, or grab a couple of milk crates and turn them into a handy-dandy little bookshelf. Suddenly you're part of a long tradition of fine craftsmen who've turned woodworking or what have you into an art. But you know, after your first project of this, you might want to try something a little more ambitious. I mean, a bookshelf is okay to look at, but next thing you know, you have to buy books, and that seems a little pretentious for a lodge member. So this week, I'm going to show you how you can do something just a tad more ambitious. We're going to take these milk crates here, and we're going to make a fold-away couch bed. All right, you build 2 units like this, 3 by 3 for your sides. Might want to put some padding on top of here as an armrest. And you got the storage bins in here, wine rack, beer rack, even a soft drink rack, you know, if you're one of those. And put these things around 8 crates worth apart. Go get your top. It's basically the same technique, you know, with the duct tape and a lot more racking, shelving here. You know, the duct tape with that kind of a silver chrome look, you know, kind of looks like the metal furniture that's so popular with the Art Deco. And then you put that up on top. And there's your shape, you know, all your television remote controllers could fit into here. And there's our frame done. Starting to take shape, isn't it? Now we're ready to make the fold-away seat bed. Okay, now what I've done is I've made 2 units, 3 by 5 crates each, wrapped them all in duct tape. When you do this, though, don't skimp on the duct tape. Whenever I've done a project and used less than a dozen rolls of duct tape, I've never been real proud of the results. Anyway, you know, before you put this together, you got one of those kind of an exercise thing to see the football players. You don't do that kind of stuff. I never wanted to play football. And now we just fold her up together. And there's our seat. So you just upholster this now to match your house, or if you don't have a house, get it to match your pants. And if you don't have pants, well, You have a more interesting life than I do. Milk builds the strong bones and strong couches, doesn't it? And now, of course, when somebody drops over, they got a place to sleep. You just get up and you whip off the blanket here, and pull out the seat. I'm sure they'd help you. Okay, pop her up. And with the beauty of our Himmelman hinge, tell them to stand well back. And say, bedtime. Bed. Hop into bed. And there you have it. Fantastic. So remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. I don't think your guests will be staying any more than one night either, so that's an added bonus. This week on Handyman Corner, we're going to show you how to take something and improve on it. What we're going to do is going to show you how to make a portable phone for under $40. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Here's what you're going to need. A wall-mounted phone, an old backpack, a garden hose spool, and a bunch of telephone cable. Now, if you want to go get that stuff, I'll just wait. All right, now, the first step is to remove the canvas from the backpack. If you're careful how you do this, you can end up with enough canvas to make yourself a dandy little sun hat. All right, as you can see, I'm just putting the finishing touches on attaching the garden hose reel to the backpack using the Handyman secret weapon, duct tape. Now what we do is take our telephone wire and begin winding it onto the hose reel. Now, the amount of wire you put on here will be determined by how portable you want the phone to be. If it's just for around the house, 50 feet it'd probably do. 20 feet if you live in a new subdivision. Or if you want to run to the whole neighborhood, I'd suggest you put on a couple of 100 feet. As you can see, I'm just finishing attaching the phone to my body with the duct tape, and we're done. No more running to the phone, because with this rig on, believe me, you don't want to be running. I'll get it. Hello, could you just hang on a minute, please? Yeah. This sounds like an important call, so until next time, remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was me. I ordered the 8 slicer with the double pepperoni. Yeah, I'm on my way over to get it right now. How's my voice sound? I made this phone. Yeah, made it myself. No, I'm not kidding. Hello, 911. Could you send an ambulance? Just follow the wire. We'll be right back with more wildlife adventures amongst the furry beasts of the woods.
I think he's back to the story about Moose Thompson being a new dancer.
We're going to show you how to solve the oil crisis. A good start is to go with a lightweight vehicle such as this one. Made entirely of wood, so she's not going to rust out on you. And it's lightweight, practical, simple, easy to park, excellent visibility. Plus, it only takes one person, which should save a few marriages. Now, with this unit, you steer it with your feet, which leaves your hands free to use as brakes. Now, of course, the next step on this one was to figure out what kind of a fuel-efficient engine I could use on this unit. And my first thought was the JetX cubes. Those little cubes, I used to use them on my model cars and my model boats and what have you. But I phoned the JetX people, and they wouldn't sell it to me in a 200-pound block. So I had to come up with the next best thing. a fire extinguisher. So what I do here is I can squeeze the trigger, fires the extinguisher, and I'm holding the nozzle out the back, and away I go. I should be able to hit 30 or 40 mile an hour on a flat road, putting out fires as I go. But as they say, the proof of the pudding is usually written on the label. So let's give her a try. Well, either I'm going to have to lose some weight or we're going to have to up the horsepower of the engine. So what I've done is I've attached 4 fire extinguishers to the unit, and I've used the Handyman secret weapon here, duct tape, to position everything, and I've put a scarf on as well because this CO2 gets pretty cold, and I wouldn't want to be driving down the highway 70, 80 mile an hour with a frozen head. Anyway, I think we're all set, and I think I'll be saying goodbye now, just in case. So until next time, remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. 3, 2, 1. Got a real complicated handyman project on this week's show. As you can see, this vehicle here has had a little unscheduled body work on her, and she's kind of unsafe and ugly right now, which is a lot more acceptable in a person than it is in a car. And over here, if you'll see, we got almost the identical unit over here, and different side done on this. This is actually a result of a little test we ran up to see if Mercury Creek Bridge was wide enough for 2 cars. Can't really talk anymore about that till after the inquest. Anyway, I'm going to show you what the creative handyman does when he's got 2 identical side-swipe vehicles. Actually, I got the idea of watching them action movies. I really like the action movies because at my age, it's about all the action I'm going to see. I'm going to show you how to make a Hummer. You know what a Hummer is? It's one of those things they use like on Desert Storm. I don't know why they call it a Hummer, but if you got anything that's 12 feet wide, it's a Hummer, believe me. You know who has them is the military and Hollywood celebrities. So that makes sense, because those are 2 groups that really spend money wisely. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to connect these 2 cars together side by side. And of course, the first thing we have to do is get the doors off them. Got a 1/2-inch bolt? No, I think she's a 5/8. Reminds you of a rocker, doesn't it? The doors. They broke up. All right, now all you gotta do is drive this car up so the 2 cars are side by side. There we go. Now, just gotta kind of join them together into one wide body. And of course, joining them up means that you gotta be welding, or better still, or at least faster still, use the handyman secret weapon, duct tape. But don't skimp on the duct tape, just to save a buck or 2. Because at highway speeds, you'll be glad that you spent the big dollar. I wonder Hummers cost so much. It's all the duct tape. You're probably wondering, how's this going to work? Well, I'm going to tell you. First of all, you start up this unit. You leave her in neutral. Saves gas, eh? What about steering, you're thinking? Don't worry about it. I duct taped the front wheels together. This is not just a Hummer. This is a Hummer-dinger. Seats 10, got 2 separate heaters, 2 separate radios, so you don't get into the arguments over which station you're listening to. I mean, anybody can have a stretch limo. We got a squat limo. I didn't stretch the budget. I didn't pay squat. Let's see how she handles. Remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. I'll be back. Handyman Corner, I'm going to take you outside and show you how to upgrade your vehicle. They just don't make vans like this anymore, and if any of you viewers have one, well, you know why. Now, I know that, you can fix her up by doing some body work or maybe finally getting around to do that ring and valve job or anything, but I think it's a lot more fun and something you can talk about at parties to install your own air conditioner. Now, I got the idea to put in air conditioning when I found this air conditioner. It was just sitting on the sidewalk in front of a house. And whether it was out there to go in the garbage or maybe the people were moving and just hadn't put it in the truck yet, I don't really know. But the deal is there that with an air conditioner now, she runs 120 volts and the van runs 12 volts. So what you need is a step-up transformer, which any idiot can make, and I'll prove it. To make the transformer, you need one of these wheel rims. We have a lot of these up at the lodge because the mice just eat the rubber right off the tires. And, then when the droppings, they'll bounce from here to Hollywood, So what you need to do is you got to go 12 volts, 120 volts. So that's the ratio on the transformer. So you divide 12 by 20, and that's 120 divided by 12. Carry the 4. 10. Okay, so now you got to wrap your wire around on that ratio of 10. So you'd put 30, say 30 coils on one side, and then 10 times 30 times. 418. All right. That only took a few hours. Now we can hook her up to our power supply. We got the transformer. We just go around the front here and just hoist this up and run these battery cables. Hook them onto the battery. Now just run the cable. We'll keep them apart. And run the cables around here. And, we're just, this is just temporary unless it works. And if you wanted to make a real fancy installation, I suppose you could, go in through the windows and through the walls and so on, but that would involve a lot of hammering. Okay, so now what we do is we hook her up to the transformer. This is going on the small side here. Oh, for gosh sake. Okay, we'll hook that up there. And oh, perfect. Okay, now we need to hook the other side up to the air conditioner. There's the other wire here now. Here we go. Yeah, this is the step-up transformer aspect of it. Now, a lot of you safety nuts would probably want to tape these. There we go. Okay, now we should be up to 120 volts. Just a matter now of just hoisting the air conditioner up into the... Just hoisting her up. Just hoist her up. There we go. All right. These are a heavy unit, aren't they? My golly. Oh. All right, that's just got to get up into the window there now. And just wait for all my body parts to go back into their normal shape. And up onto this. I should have parked on a hill. All right, there. Now, this is not something you're going to be taking in and out, on a regular basis. All right, now just, I didn't think I'd have to wear the equipment today, but get the air conditioner into the window. Oh! All right, a little farther. Now this takes a little touch here, now just find the point just where it balances. Oh. All right, well, ignore that part, but other than that, heck of an idea. Okay, so you get the idea. Until next time, the women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. I got enough there to make a heat pump for the man. This week on Handyman Corner, we're going to show you something fun you can do with a bed for those of you who are over 50 and are looking for alternatives. I got this idea when I was stuck in a traffic jam out in the highway. They had one of them big machines that is like a one-step deal. It breaks up the asphalt and pulls it into the thing, and it melts it all down, and then it puts it back down and rolls it flat. And I thought to myself, maybe we could do the same thing for gardening, a one-step machine. And I got this antique bed that was left over from old man Sedgwick's honeymoon, so I knew I wouldn't have to worry about metal fatigue. All right, now, step one, what you want to do is get yourself an outboard motor and mount this to the footboard, or as we call it, the transom. Okay, and when you mount it with the prop going forward, because this here is going to be your cultivator. Now, if you got the loam, you might be able to get by with, say, 9.5 Evinrude set for trolling. But if your yard is full of clay and stones and maybe a couple of buried wood stoves, you might have to move up to a 300-horse Mercruiser V6 with trim tabs and power tilts. Maybe get the prop off a Cessna 150. But either way, whatever engine you use, you're going to mount it onto the bed using exactly the same technology. The handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. Now, if you go with the big motor on this, you might want to use, say, 2 or 3 rolls of duct tape and then really secure down maybe 100-pound test line or even a couple of coat hangers. Now, I've used the same technique to attach these coat racks to the sides of the footboard, and we got a couple of hot water bottles hung here. We really stripped out old man Sedgwick's room for this project. And we got plant food in this one, we got weed killer in this one, and then they come down through these hoses. It's a gravity feed, kind of like Moose Thompson on spaghetti night. And then the two chemicals are joined together into this bedpan where they're turned into fertilizer. Kind of apropos, isn't it? Now I've added a reading light to the coat rack there. I mean, what we'd ever need a reading light at the lodge for is beyond me. But this allows us to do our planting at night. And the hot water bottles are all set to go here, and I've added an umbrella for a little extra protection, which is something you want to think about when you're near a bed. And now these pillowcases I've mounted on the back here, what I'm going to do is, I filled the one, I'll just top this baby up with some flower seeds, and then the seeds come out the hole in the bottom, planting flowers as we go. I got some bulbs here, and I'll just fill up my pockets with the bulbs, and what I can do with them, see, is just bounce them off the bed as we're going along, just like that, you know? Oh, missed the bed. No. We used to do that. As kids. Of course, we used hamsters. And we're about right. You know what? You know what'd be, I think, a real treat here is, why don't I go and put my pajamas on just to kind of get in the spirit of the whole rig here. Hang on a sec. I forgot. These are my pajamas. Okay, well, I think we're all set. And just before we turn a real ugly-looking piece of crap into a real nice garden, I just remind you that if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Now, I'll just start this up. Okay. Umbrella up there. And we're going gardening. This week on Handyman Corner, I thought I'd take a minute and talk about winterizing your vehicle. You know, if you're anything like me, and if you watch this show, then you are, and I'm guessing your vehicle is suffering from what I call receding tread line. Male pattern tire wear. You know, we got the space age technology, you can put a man on the moon and everything. You think you should be able to get a couple of 100,000 miles out of a tire, wouldn't you? And I say you can. Look at this tire. Hey, we're not out of rubber. We're just out of tread. Being a bit of a retread myself, I say, why don't we just cut ourselves a new groove? Get yourself one of them automotive magazines there. Pick out some sort of a tread pattern that suits your lifestyle. Then what you want to do is plug in your router and start routing. I get my kicks on Route 66. Man, smells like I just drove the Indy 500 with the emergency brake on. Well, I was having some problems here, you know, following the pattern, a little harder than I thought it would be. So I've had to do a total rethink on her. What I've got now is something different. You're gonna love this. Personalized snow tires. See that? not just a fashion statement, it actually proves where you were if the cops should ever ask for any reason. Not just a tire, it's an alibi. Hopefully an airtight alibi. Or maybe you're the kind of person who gets lost a lot. How about this unit here? Got the arrows carved right into her there. You mount these so the arrows are giving an imprint backwards. No matter where you go, you'll always be able to find your way home. Or maybe you got a girlfriend you're trying to impress. Who isn't, huh? Even some of you married guys. How about this? I love Trudy. Huh? Isn't that beautiful? And if you ever break up with Trudy, all you got to do is peel rubber for a couple of miles. You're going to erase her off your radials and your life. Here's something a little bit special I'm working on for my wife, Bernice. A little surprise for her there. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. I'm going to put a great big dot on that eye. That's all right, I'll use that one as a spare. This week on Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you something you can do with an old fridge that's lost what it takes to keep your butter hard. You know, an old fridge like this, I'll tell you something, you'd have to pay a scrap dealer to haul this thing away. But we're going to turn it into something that no junk dealer would touch. A gentleman's armoire. All right, first thing we got to do is we got to disconnect the refrigeration unit here. Alrighty. Now we'll just pry all this stuff off the back. Now we have a little problem here. There's a gas in this, it's called Freon. Now this is a gas that has no smell. We don't see a lot of that up at the lodge. But the problem with it is that once this stuff cuts loose, it goes up, way up into the atmosphere and takes out the ozone layer or something like that. So we gotta be very careful and try and capture all the gas as soon as it escapes. So here's what we do. We'll just, first of all, break the seal. All right, now very quickly. You know, if everybody did that, the Earth would be a heck of a lot better place to live, I'll tell you that. Now we're just gonna gently remove the pump unit on the bottom there. Alrighty. My golly, she's really on there. So now we got her. And what do we have to do to turn it into a gentleman's armoire? Diddly squat. You got your ties in the door there. You got a shelf for your shirts. You got a shelf for your pants. You got a shelf for other things that you don't like to describe in public. You keep your underwear and the cheese keep her over here. Keep your socks in the vegetable crisper. You might want to throw a box of baking soda in there. You got all your clothes handy and just ready for you to use. And look what we got up here in the freezer. Your very own haberdashery. You know, Harold says teenagers like to wear cool clothes. Well, how much cooler can you be than have your clothes in the fridge? Personally, I'd rather give my clothes to Sally Ann and throw Harold in the fridge. Actually, I did want to show you something else you can do with a fridge. You can turn a fridge actually into a fishing boat. But we are a little short of time, so I'm just going to say, remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. If you want to do the fishing boat thing, you just knock off both doors, flip her over on its back, put a 20 horse on the back, throw your bait into the meat keeper, and you're gone. This week in the Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you how to make a sou'wester for up north, designed by a guy from down east. And the first thing you need is a couple of these vinyl plastic tablecloths. And the second thing you need is one of these electric glue guns. So I'll just plug this in. If you don't have one of these glue guns, by golly, they are a terrific investment. They spew out a kind of real hot, sticky glue, and you can use them to caulk around a window, if you never wanted to open that window again. Or you can use them for decorating cakes, you know, or, you know, you can just take the glue right out of there, and it makes a dandy little soldering iron. It's also real, if you got good handwriting, you can use them to brand cattle. The only downside is they take a little while to heat up. All right, I guess it's ready. So now we just put a glue stick in the end there, load her up. And we're ready to start gluing. It just comes right real easy. That's what's wrong. Oh, no, that's a piece of chalk. Glue sticks. There they are. Oh. That always happens. Well, here's one. Okay, so we stick the glue stick in there, and then you just give it a little squeeze, and yeah. Oh, All right, well, I'll clean that up later. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to spread one of the tablecloths out on the floor, and you want to lie down on it and trace around yourself. Spread your arms out. And this is something that may seem a little bit awkward, but it's not that hard to do. Okay, you just trace right around. You should make a mark. Oh, that's a glue stick. There we go. Scared me for a minute there. Just mark right around yourself, and it's an unusual talent, but it can come in handy if you ever get shot. And you know, leave a little bit of extra room so the raincoat doesn't fit too tight. Sorry about the view. Go right up over your head. And leave space for your hands to come out the ends, and then you're done. And there's basically my shape. Boy, I could stand to lose a little weight there. Anyway, now you cut that out, and then you put that on top of the other plastic sheet, and that becomes your form, and then you've got your raincoat underway. Okay, now you can just cut along the chalk line using a pair of scissors or tin snips. Or if everybody's borrowed all your stuff and never brought it back, you may have to use some tree pruning shears. All right, we're through there, and once you've done that, you can start sewing the coat together with the glue gun. Just be sure that you leave the bottom open where your legs are going to stick out, and leave the ends of the sleeves open where your hands come through. And you go right up around the head, though. Another thing, too, is just be careful you don't glue the coat to the floor, or yourself to the coat, or the coat to, say, the table, or more importantly, that you don't glue any of your really important body parts to the actual glue gun. I managed to find Bernice's sewing scissors, which I'm using to cut a hole for the face. Button up your overcoat. You know what I've done here is I've added a couple of accessories to kind of enhance the look and to make the functionality just that much more. I think the pieces of inner tube I'm using as epaulettes give it kind of a naval look, I think. I've used some cupboard handles out of the kitchen, push her up a little bit, and then you've got the sandwich bags here for pockets. Going to keep your car keys fresh. And it's kind of a unisex design. I mean, a man or a woman could wear this and you'd have no idea what it was. And then you got the pride factor, too, of knowing that you made this yourself. This is a one-off. So remember, the women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. I'm sweating like a pig in this thing.